To Warrior Game Day here at Maxwell Field. Steve Carley joining me for a pretty exciting experience here tonight as we take on the Minnesota State Mankato Mavericks. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. Should be an exciting game, Steve.
Yes, it should, as you have two mirror images of each other coming in, both off losses of the previous week, so it should, make a very interesting one. I mean, Mankato off a loss last week to Concordia, Winona State beating Upper Iowa University, but it's going to be probably the game of the night in the NSIC conference.
Both teams come into tonight's matchup 3-1 on the season, 2-1 in the NSIC. Both kind of a competitive nature in that NFC South division, as Winona State is slightly ahead of Mankato. Both teams, like you said, Steve, with one loss, and really this is a defining game if you want to reach the NCAA playoffs.
Yes, it's a season changer for both teams. As you take a look at Winona State, you have Duluth next week and Augustana at home here at Maxwell Field the week after. So if they lose this game, then you're looking, you might lose 2 to Duluth in a row. Otherwise you win, then you have your hopes up, momentum going up in Duluth and Mankato. You can't lose 2 games in a row, otherwise your season's basically done, especially with Augustana still on the schedule, Southwest Minnesota State and Duluth. So they really have their backs up against the wall, and tonight's going to be a major fist fight between these two NSIC powers.
Both head coaches very successful in their careers. Tom Sawyer in his 15th season, but head coach Todd Hoffner from Mankato State, Steve, 22-6 overall in just 3 seasons. He's really instilled a winning tradition.
And they've had Winona State's number since he's taken over. Winona State has not beaten Minnesota State University Mankato, dating back even to last year here at the same site of Maxwell Field, where Mankato came in and beat the Warriors 32-13. So Winona State, has a little revenge and a little payback since they haven't beat the Mavericks since 1980.
Yeah, 34-13 was that win, and looking at the stat line from that game just a year ago, Steve, Greg Preston had 20 completions for 278 yards, but 4 interceptions on the day, and really when your quarterback puts you in that position, it's very hard to win.
Yeah, when your turnover battle was really won by the Mavericks, they really did a nice job getting after the senior Greg Preston, and they're going to try and do that same thing here tonight to the sophomore Evan Aber. They're going to really try and get into his head as kind of St. Cloud State did 2 weeks ago up in St. Cloud, and really try to rattle him, make him throw some interceptions. But I really see Winona State coming down to, can they manage the football game? Can they get their running game going and not turn the football over? But it's going to be whoever can run the ball better, whoever can win the turnover battle is going to win here tonight. Mankato
State comes into tonight's game 25th ranked in the national polls. Winona State falling out of the top 25 after the loss to St. Cloud just 2 weeks ago. So make sure you come down tonight. We're whiting out the stadium. I know Steve and I aren't quite whited out. We didn't have any white polos. So by all means, come down. It's a great experience. There's free hot dogs, brats, and pop everywhere. So make sure you come down here, white out the stadium. If not, listen on 89.5 KQAL. Coming up next, we'll break down the Minnesota State Mankato Mavericks.
When it comes to your health, nothing matters more to us at Hy-Vee.
We do diabetes screenings, cholesterol checks, and make sure you understand your medication.
See what
And with 400 generic prescriptions for just $4,
We'll make sure you stay healthy and happy. Your Hy-Vee Pharmacy, where convenience meets care.
Back here at Warrior Game Day, being viewed on the Warrior Sports Network, Steve, breaking down the Minnesota State Mankato Mavericks. 3-1 in the conference, doing fairly well, but kind of an upsetting loss against Concordia St. Paul at home.
Yeah, coming down to the wire, 28-26. They missed a field goal with time, with 55 seconds left in the game, as Mankato has failed to make a field goal this season. They are 0-6, so that'll be an interesting stat to watch as tonight's game rolls on. If they get into Warrior territory, will they kick it or will they punt it or will they go for it? Something interesting. But back to that game, Spencer Ohm, the quarterback for Concordia, a name that you should really get to know because he was fantastic. He was 23 for 34 with 237 yards, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He really played well against Mankato in a hostile environment of Mankato, Minnesota.
Yeah, you look at that fourth quarter comeback, they just about pulled it off, but like you said, 0 for 6 on field goals, something that Winona State really works on, special teams, but really a field goal away from making that a win and being 4-0.
And you look at it, Mankato had trouble getting to the red zone. They only had
Stadium, home of Maxwell Field.
That's our
Automotive is
but taking it back to Mankato, Concordia really kept them out of the red zone. They only had one opportunity inside the red zone. Otherwise, their 3 other touchdowns came from 40 yards and out. So Winona State really has to limit the big play because 2 runs of 40 yards or more scored a touchdown and a pass for 55 yards scored another touchdown.
Yeah, Taylor Brookins, definitely someone that the Warrior football team, the defense, is going to have to look out for. 170 yards, 22 carries, and 3 touchdowns. We heard the head coach talk about him last week, or just before pregame here, Steve, as a very pivotal player on that offense.
Yes, he's a very powerful runner and a very shifty runner. The quarterback position also going to be kind of an issue tonight as Steve Passion, the senior, is going to get the start for Will Brogan as he is out tonight as he has a sickness. But that's also a huge storyline. Passion, if you Warrior fans remember last year here at Maxwell Field, dominated Winona State, really came out, threw the ball well, but he's going to have some rust to throw off, and maybe the Warriors and Cody Dummer, they can get to it quick enough to maybe cause some problems for Passion.
Yeah, you talk about the great offensive line that Mankato has put together, Steve. Number 1 in the NCAA and number 1 in the NSIC in giving up sacks this year. Not very many. I think they've only given up 4 sacks in 4 games, so that's something that Petrino and his defense are really going to have to spell out.
And the offensive line for Mankato has really done a nice job getting them into the red zone. As Mankato on the season, they were 55% inside the red zone, so the Warrior defense, which has been kind of risky inside of the red zone on defense, has to really step it up tonight against a very good offense in Mankato.
You got the number 1 total offense in the NSIC, Winona State, going against the NSIC leader in scoring defense, Mankato. They might have been surpassed by Augustana, but they're 10th in the NCAA in scoring defense, averaging just about 12 points a game.
And you take a look at their passing defense. That's really what it limits opponents. They're number 1 in the NSIC in passing defense, averaging opponents to 144 yards per game. So Evan Aber is going to have his work cut out for him. Also, they hold the rushing attack for opponents to 137 yards per game. So Winona State on offense really has to keep it, simple. Just do the basics. Don't try to get complex. Do a lot of weird, quirky things with the Wildcat. Just come out and be efficient against a very good defense of the Mavericks.
Once again, talking about last year, 4 interceptions via Greg Preston to the Maverick defense. +2 on the season is Mankato, -3 is Winona State. That's something I think they need to figure out today if they want to come out victorious.
And I think it comes down to the Warrior running game. Can they hold on to the football? No fumbles. Can they get to Passion and make him cause some mistakes, as it's going to be his first game started of the year? He is a senior. But, the Warrior defense should be a little hostile atmosphere here at Maxwell Field. That should be able to cause a couple turnovers itself. But can the Warriors not get burned by deep passes, by Passion on the Maverick offense, where the Warrior secondary has been kind of shaky so far this season? There's a lot of questions, but I think the Warriors have what it takes to beat the Mavericks tonight in the turnover battle.
Well, coming up next on Warrior Game Day, we have team trivia, giving away some McDonald's gift cards here at the Warrior Game Day experience here, as we can hopefully keep our centerpiece up. And make sure you come down and white out the stadium here on the Warrior Sports Network, Warrior Game Day.
You can make a lot of new friends when you save them money on trucks. Like a new 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Our regular cab is under $21,000. The best-selling compact pickup for 5 years in a row. Making new friends every day at Dahl Toyota in Winona.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
For anybody with financial startophobia, I would tell them to go to Merchants Bank. Well, when I was 16, I had financial startup-phobia. Got a friend that had a dealership and took me down and signed for my first car and got me started at the Merchants Bank, and I've been there ever since that. And that's why Merchants Bank is the bank that service-built.
When it comes to your health, nothing matters more to us at Hy-Vee.
We do diabetes screenings, cholesterol checks, and make sure you understand your medication. And with 400 generic prescriptions for just $4,
we'll make sure you stay healthy and happy. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy, where convenience meets care.
We're live? We are live. All right, we're here at Verizon Wireless Stadium, Maxwell Field. We have our Warrior team trivia, guys. We got Zach here. We got Mr. Yergel having two sons play today in this game. And we got the super fan, Bobby Rothwell. Okay, guys, hopefully you didn't see my answers. Here they are right here. Guys, who is Curtis Dewberry's favorite comedian? Is it A, Dane Cook, B, Richard Pryor, or C, Cat Williams? Hopefully our pens work. Did it kind of work? It kind of worked. All right, so now, do we have our answers zeroed in? Yeah. Can you please show the camera? Or just show Steve. Show Steve.
I put Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. Richard Pryor. And Cat Williams. Mr. Yergel gets it correct. Richard Pryor. Mr. Yergel is in the lead. He's got one right. All right, you guys got to step it up.
I did that on purpose.
Super fan. Bobby, I expect more out of you.
I want them to win.
All right, second question.
Here we go.
How many conference championships have the Warriors won? Is it A, 18, B, 13, or C, 16?
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. There's a lot of them.
Are you showing them already?
Super fan, you should know.
You showed them
16.
16?
13.
13? 16. You are all incorrect. It's actually 18.
No, I said 18.
18 conference championships. All right, so Mr. Yergel is still in the lead.
I'm doing really good. I like this.
Here we go.
Third question.
I really like this.
What is Coach Curtin's superstitious pregame meal? Is it A, an omelet from Timber's Restaurant, B, 2 cheeseburgers and a Coke from McDonald's, or C, grilled cheese dipped in tomato soup? And they've zeroed in their answers. Bobby's thinking about this one very hard.
Bobby's got this one.
His illustrious painted face. All right, what?
I'm going to say Timber's omelet.
Timber's omelet?
McDonald's.
McDonald's?
I said C.
And he said grilled cheese. Mr. Yergel gets another one right.
He has taken this one.
So really, he's got the lead. It's going to be hard to beat him since you two don't have one right.
I am, but I want them to win because I'm just a nice guy. I don't eat McDonald's because I'm healthy. Look at this body. I don't eat McDonald's.
He doesn't.
So I'm giving it to him. You don't understand what I do. I help people get what they want. I'm just here to have
All right,
fun.
last question. Last question. We'll do it anyways.
I'll get this one.
In what year did the Warriors beat the Mavericks last? Is it A, 1980, B, 2004, or C, 1999? Okay, they've zeroed in their answers. We'll start with Zach first this time. Zach, what do you think?
B.
B. He says 2004. That is incorrect. 04. And Bobby, I think Bobby's 1999. It is 1980. 1980. So, Mr. Yergel, you get the first choice. The first choice of the McDonald's gift card. So, I'll let you guys argue over those or decide what you get. Maybe you get the Angus 3 pounder. He's giving them away. What a generous guy here at Maxwell Field. That's going to do it for Team Trivia, wherever we're at, right here. Coming up next, we'll break down the Winona State Warriors as they try and come out victorious tonight on Warrior Game Day.
You can make a lot of new friends when you save them money on trucks. Like a new 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Our regular cab is under $21,000. The best-selling compact pickup for 5 years in a row. Making new friends every day at Dahl Toyota in Winona.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
For anybody with financial startophobia, I would tell them to go to Merchants Bank. Well, when I was 16, I had financial startup-phobia. Got a friend that had a dealership and took me down and signed for my first car and got me started at the Merchants Bank, and I've been there ever since that. And that's why Merchants Bank is the bank that service-built.
When it comes to your health, nothing matters more to us at Hy-Vee.
We do diabetes screenings, cholesterol checks, and make sure you understand your medication. And with 400 generic prescriptions for just $4,
we'll make sure you stay healthy and happy. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy, where convenience meets care.
Not live yet.
Welcome back to Warrior Game Day.
Well, thank you, Bobby, the super fan here. You don't have to. Make sure that doesn't tip over again, though.
I'll hold it up.
I'm concerned for your safety. I'm concerned for your safety. All right, welcome back to Warrior Game Day here at the tailgating experience. What a great atmosphere here, Steve. It's a little chilly, but it's perfect out here. I tell you what, for football here at Maxwell Field. Breaking down last week a little bit about our Winona State Warriors. Started off a little slow. It was cold. It was rainy in Fayette, Iowa, but they came back. 28 unanswered points in the second half.
And the weather kind of showed how Winona State was playing, sloppy. In the first half, raining. They really couldn't get anything going. In the first half, it was tied 14-14 going into halftime. Just really couldn't get their feet underneath them. But in the second half, weather cleared up, and so did the Warriors. Came out, scored 21 unanswered points, really came out, dominated the football game, ended up winning, by a big margin and coming into this game with a little momentum.
Looking at kind of the statistics line from that game, Evan Aber had his best game of the season by far, Steve. 347 yards and 4 touchdowns on a day that really it wasn't favorable to throw the football.
No, and he had to throw the ball 37 times, and he did a magnificent job. I mean, he, as you said, 347 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw for the 8th most in a single game, passing yards wise, and his 4 touchdowns was the 9th most in Winona State history. So really, in a game that seemed like it was going to be run the ball all game long, he really did a nice job of airing it out and getting the win for Winona State.
Rayon Simmons did have 13 carries for 73 yards, Steve, but perhaps the biggest exclamation point or worrisome stat about last Saturday was the 3 fumbles that Winona State lost.
Yeah, they couldn't take care of the football, and that's what led Upper Iowa back into it, but the Warrior defense did a nice job of bailing out Winona State time and time again. They held Upper Iowa to 8 consecutive 3-and-outs, so Upper Iowa really couldn't find a rhythm on offense. But tonight their defense and the turnovers are going to have to be almost 100% good, because this is a Mankato team that thrives on turnovers and thrives on the defense making mistakes.
We look at the offense again, Steve, and Chichi Ochika energized that squad last week in the second half. I don't care what subs were in for either team, but Chichi Ochika averaged 11 yards per carry. He didn't get a touchdown, but do you think we can expect to see him today maybe?
Possibly if Theo Burkett goes out with another injury, as he was on the sidelines with his pads off. Curtis Dewberry really couldn't get much going. He was in there more for short passing circumstances, but Chichi Ochika really showing some nice speed, and he brings in almost the same can't even think of what I wanted to say, but he brings in the same skill set as Curtis Dewberry, so he's almost the same all around. But Chicho Chica, as Nate Seams would like for him to say, is, went to the same high school. A little shout out to Nate Seams, but Chicho Chica, a nice compliment to the Warrior running game offense.
Yeah, Winona State, second in the NSIC in scoring defense, also second in pass offense, doing an excellent job this afternoon, and hopefully can get the ball rolling this week, tonight.
And I think, a huge atmosphere, sellout crowd, standing room only. If you can't make it out, listen to 89.5 KQAL, but it's going to be a slugfest. Both of these teams are almost exact identicals of each other. They both pro-style offense, run the football. Defense thrives on stopping the run. It's just going to be a battle to, who can run the ball better, who can convert on the turnovers, and it's just going to be a great game tonight.
Really, you think about it, this is a must-win game for both teams if they want to keep their playoff appearances alive. Coming up next, we'll give you our keys to the game and our final thoughts on tonight's game, whiting out the stadium at Maxwell Field. Kickoff set for 6 p.m. here. This is Warrior Game Day.
You can make a lot of new friends when you save them money on trucks. Like a new 2011 Toyota Tacoma. Our regular cab is under $21,000. The best-selling compact pickup for 5 years in a row. Making new friends every day at Dahl Toyota in Winona.
Financial startophobia. Fear of financial endeavors causing putting off till the day after tomorrow that which should have been done the day before yesterday.
For anybody with financial startophobia, I would tell them to go to Merchants Bank. Well, when I was 16, I had financial startup-phobia. Got a friend that had a dealership and took me down and signed for my first car and got me started at the Merchants Bank, and I've been there ever since that. And that's why Merchants Bank is the bank that service-built.
When it comes to your health, nothing matters more to us at Hy-Vee.
We do diabetes screenings, cholesterol checks, and make sure you understand your medication. And with 400 generic prescriptions for just $4,
we'll make sure you stay healthy and happy. Your Hy-Vee pharmacy, where convenience meets care.
What did you guys really try to focus on this week in practice coming into Mankato?
Well, I think probably the top thing is, we got to be very disciplined in the ball game and, not cause, not to have some crazy penalties, those kind of things. But the other part was really trying to start fast, get the game going. Obviously, we're not going to have any trouble getting up for this game. We just have to play well early and then finish as strong as we can. So we need a complete football game, something we haven't seen yet.
Up in St. Cloud and down in Upper Iowa, your team has kind of started slow. What have you tried to fix that? How have you fixed that?
Well, we made it a priority in practice. We did some things during practice to, to simulate that, and but really, it's guys getting ready mentally, and if they're tuned in, they should be ready to go, and that's what we expect at 6 o'clock.
What are your expectations out of your defense coming into this game?
Well, we really try to reduce the amount of big plays. They're a big play team, long passes, those kind of things, and try to keep that down as many as we possibly can, and keep them out of the end zone, obviously. But they have some weapons, and we have to make sure that we keep them on the field.
With your quarterback, Evan Aber, are you going to use him most of the game, try to work Bradshaw in?
Right now, it's Evan's game, and we'll see how he does, but I'm excited for him to have the game and get ready to go.
Are you in the past couple games, he's had over 35 throws in a game. Is he your number one option on offense, or is he just there to manage the game?
The defense manages our game, so if they're going to play a bunch of people in the box and try to stop our run, if we have to throw it 50 times, we'll throw it 50 times. It really depends on how they want to play us and what their focus is to stop us. We'll just go by what the defense tells us to.
What are your expectations for tomorrow night?
Win.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Back to Warrior Game Day here out in the tailgating section. Fans are filling in here. Steve, let's break down our quick keys to the game for both teams to come out victorious tonight. Let's start with Winona State.
For Winona State, I think they got to get the running game going just to start it off. Own the time of possession, get Rayon Simmons, Theo Burkett, and Curtis Dewberry going. Maybe mix in some Chicho Chica, but I think it's got to be the Rayon Simmons show here tonight for Winona State.
Absolutely. I think you got to get the ground control as Curtis and Rayon were talking. Talked to them last night. The ground control, they call themselves. So control the clock, control the line of scrimmage is also a key to the game that I'm going to call out. A big game last weekend for the for Mankato on the rushing side of the ball. I think if you make them throw the ball, you make Passion throw the football, something he's not really used to, coming out of the gates right away, I think they can come out victorious. Also looking at Mankato, Steve, what are some keys to the game for them to maybe come into a hostile environment and come out with a win?
They can't be one-dimensional. You have to get Steve Passion going. I know it's his first start of the season, but he is a senior. He's played here before last year and won here, so you should be able to get him and the offense going, start with the short passes and work him in, and use that defense to get Evan Aber out of his rhythm. You really have to. You have the #1 passing defense in the NSIC. Use that to your advantage. Blitz Aber and get him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I have a similar key to the game, Steve. I say get Brookins into the game. Get him in a flow. Hand the ball off to him, whether or not Winona State is able to stop him. Get him into that flow of the game. Keep him out. Hit him on some crossing routes. Hit him underneath. I think getting him as part of your offense and keying on him is going to be beneficial for Mankato.
I think for also Mankato, the running game is also going to be a big deal. Can they control the clock and keep this crowd out of it? Sellout crowd, standing room only, so probably about 5,000 plus here, mostly wearing white, backing the Warriors. It's going to be a hostile environment, and if they can keep the crowd out of it, it's also their advantage to win this game.
Well, make sure if you're not coming down here to Maxwell Field, pardon me, not Lowry Field, Maxwell Field, Verizon Wireless Stadium. Tune in to 89.5 KQAL or on kqal.org. Steve Carley and I will be doing pregame in just under a half an hour here. About 5:30, pregame will start. Kickoff once again set for 6 o'clock. So, Steve, what's your final thought on this evening's ball game?
Final thought, great game all around. Great atmosphere. Come on out if you can. And otherwise, if you don't, you're going to miss a fantastic football game. Go Warriors.
Absolutely. For Steve Carley and myself, Kyle Rasmussen, Kyle Baker, Nate Seams, and our producer, Don Veith, this has been Warrior Game Day. Make sure you make it down here, white out the stadium, or listen online at 89.5 KQL and kqal.org. This has been another great day to be a Warrior on Warrior Game Day on the Warrior Sports Network.